Hey guys, musicninjamat here. Today gonna actually be talking about the Royal Rumble. This pay-per-view was kind of disappointing to me. The only saving grace of it was the Women's Royal Rumble match at the end. We didn't watch the pre-show just because a lot of the matches on there, it was like, nah, we just kind of looked up the results afterwards. I don't like these pre-shows, I never really have. They can run overly long, they just repeat the same things over and over again, having the same video packages over and over again. They're just pointless. The first match, shockingly, was the WWE title match, and we were just like, oh, okay, throw the WWE title match out straight away, why not? And it was the handicap match, so AJ versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Usually these matches have the dynamic where the side that has two guys will end up fighting each other because they both want to be champion, but they're like, oh no, we're going to be co-champions. And this match, it was one of those, as it started to build up, and as I started to be like, right, I'm into this match, it suddenly ended. AJ got a roll-up victory, and then it was just over. And I was like, oh, that was a pretty short, sudden match. And it ended where Sammy was the legal man, not Kevin. And we were like, what the hell are they doing? That's not even the legal man. But they brought it up later in the night, and they're going to build a story from it. Here's my main thing, and I think this is one of the reasons I didn't like this pay-per-view. There was a lot of story building. Your story building should take place on Raw and SmackDown. That's where you build these stories. And then pay-per-views is where we get the payoff. We shouldn't still be building stuff. Like, I get this is the road to WrestleMania starts here, but still, we wanted more payoff here. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Again, like, they had some good false finishes where we were like, oh, this match is picking up. You had some amazing spots, just like one of the Usos will go for a super kick and Chad will duck it, but duck straight into the second one. Usos got the first fall, and we were like, right, we're in for a hell of a match now, because it should be Chad and Benjamin get the next fall and whatnot. But the Usos just got the second fall like that. And again, as soon as the match started to pick up steam, I was like, oh, it's over. And again was just like, I'm a bit disappointed by that. When they said next up was the men's Rumble match, I was like, what? This is usually the main event. Because at this point, I'm forgetting we've got a women's Rumble match as well. So I was like, the Royal Rumble match is here, blah. Properly threw me off. The Rumble's supposed to be such an exciting match, and this was just not. I thought it was quite clever how, Aiden English comes out and everyone's going, fucking Aiden English as entry number one. But it wasn't, it was Rusev, the crowd's really into Rusev Day. And then we have Finn Balor, and I'm like, these are two decent first entries, like, fair enough. The match started to fall apart quite straight away because Baron Corbin just goes on a tear and starts just beating everyone down, and everyone's outside the ring, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it was one of these stupid moments where, like, Finn gets thrown into the barrier, Heath Slater takes a clothesline, both of them are dead for about 10 minutes from getting a move hit on them each. And I wanted more from Heath in this match, because they built it so every competitor that would come down as Heath's trying to get in the ring, they would just boot him or something and keep him down. And when Heath finally got thrown in by Sheamus, he then eliminated Sheamus, and I was like, what a moment for Heath. And then obviously he got eliminated straight away, and I'm so disappointed they're not doing more with Heath Slater. Like, Rey Mysterio had a spot in the Rumble, and so did Hurricane. Two surprises that I don't really care enough about. We had the Kofi Kingston moment where he lands and Xavier catches his foot, and then he's stood on pancakes so that he wasn't eliminated. It was weird and one of the weaker moments, but the crowd seemed into it just because it was silly. The only other sort of surprise was that Ziggler came back at number 30, and we were pretty buzzed for that because we were like, let's do something with Ziggler, and they didn't do anything. He got eliminated pretty quickly, and it felt like this whole build-up just felt like it had been wasted. And yeah, there was a massive lack of just good entries in this Rumble. There were a shitload of tag teams in it. There were some straight out jobbers in it. As far as star power, there was bugger all in this Rumble. It just wasn't exciting. The final four, when you had Finn, Shinsuke, Cena and Roman, it was an interesting one because you had two guys everyone would love to see win. You know, two newer guys in Finn and Shinsuke. Then you had Roman and Cena, two guys who everyone's like, if either of these win, we're going to riot. And it was just interesting seeing the two different kinds of guys, them all fighting. Having it down to Roman and Shinsuke, by this point I'd sort of given up hope and thought they were going to give it to Roman so he could fight Brock at Mania. However, Shinsuke won, and it was a feel-good moment, and we're finally going to get Shinsuke AJ at Mania, hopefully. Even though I didn't like this Rumble match, I'm really happy that Shinsuke won, and thinking about the match we could get at Mania is awesome. We then had the Raw Tag Team titles, and this was just stupid because, again, it was like Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins kind of fell apart, and Jason ended up injured early on, and he looked like concussed, and then Seth's getting beaten down, but Jordan couldn't help him. This is where I really started, you're going on Twitter a lot more because you've actually stopped giving a shit about the pay-per-view. I was at that point. The Universal title match, it had some brutal shots in. Like, I'm pretty sure all three of them, Kane, Brock and Braun, all took like massive shots to the head. There were a ton of weapons involved. I would have cared more if Kane hadn't been in this match. It was pretty much a certainty that Brock was going to retain. Again, this match just felt incredibly short. Michael Cole even pointed out a botch, which was fucking stupid of him, in that with no force behind whatsoever, Braun fell through a table. And Michael Cole was like, he pretty much put himself through the table. And I'm like, yes, they botched the spot. And you've just gone and been like, look, they fucked up, didn't they? Yes, they did, Michael. No, shut the fuck up. But it was alright. I liked some of the brutality, but nah. Then we finally get to the one good match that I actually enjoyed and really enjoyed. It took me a while to get into this Women's Royal Rumble match, but that was only because, like I said, by this point, I'm like, look forward to the Rumble all year, and it's been shit. But this was incredible. It was booked to perfection. It had all the pacing was right. It had surprise returns left, right and centre. We ended up having people like Lita and Michelle McCool, Kelly. A lot of the women that were on Raw 25 came back. Molly Holly came back. It was almost like a 1-2 punch because you have this Women's Royal Rumble, which was just so well done. Everyone had basically been like, Ronda's in the Rumble, guaranteed. And we worked it out as we were watching it. I think it came down to the last three, and I think Nikki had just come out. And I'm like, Brie, Bayley, Trish. Ronda's not in it. I'm not like, now it's shit. I didn't mind, but I was like, she's not in it, she can't be, because those three have to come out, and they did. Trish was the number 30 spot, of course. So cool seeing these women. We have moments like when Mickey and Trish went face to face. Honestly, I got goosebumps. I was like, this is awesome. This is what a Rumble should be. I thought Asuka was going to win, but there's a lot of moments where I'm like, but is she going to win? Like, what's going to happen? You have moments of everyone having to help throw Nia Jax out. A lot of the new divas as well had a good showing. People like Liv Morgan are just so cool and have such a good presence in the ring. The women's division at the moment, you can see just how strong it's getting. I'd love for some of the women that came back for the Rumble, if they maybe came back in general. This is the strongest the women's division has been in recent years, and I think that could attract some of those older people to want to come back and be a part of it. Asuka ended up winning, which of course is awesome. Which champion is she going to face? And then Ronda's music hits, and this is where I had everyone's feelings got kind of mixed, because you're like, right, why wasn't she in the Rumble if she was here? It was like when Samoa Joe wasn't in the Rumble, but then came out the following night on Raw, and everyone's going, but you should have debuted him in the Rumble. I lost my shit because I was like, Ronda's here, she's got her full-time contract. But as well, it was pointed out to me, she kind of really took that moment away from Asuka. It's Asuka's big moment of winning the Rumble, and now everyone's going, yeah, but Ronda Rousey. Rousey, and I'm like, oh, that is true. She kind of got overshadowed. But I'm wondering what's going to happen, because the speculation at this point was Ronda will face Charlotte and Asuka will face Alexa. But I'm there thinking, but what if Ronda's come out because she's like, look, screw the champions. Asuka is this unbeatable, unstoppable woman. I want to fight her at WrestleMania. I think that would be an interesting twist, but it would also mean the Rumble meant nothing. But yeah, overall, I was disappointed with this Royal Rumble, but the women's match made up for it massively. Was so well booked, so well done. At this point, I'm not overly fussed on Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. However, I managed to get the network deal where it's crazy. It's basically like one of those, if you've been a customer and have left, they were offering for you to get 3 months worth of the network for 99p, which means I managed to get Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Fastlane and Mania 99p for the lot. I think because I've got the network, I probably will watch those shows just because I can. But yeah, really invested in what's going on in the women's division, and at the moment I'm like, well, I don't really care about the men so much. You know, AJ Shinsuke, that's going to be awesome if it happens. We'll just have to see. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. If you go into the description, you'll be able to find all my social media links and other good stuff like that. I will see you in the next one.